Most people over 70 are told the same thing about staying healthy. Eat more vegetables, get enough protein, take your vitamins every morning. It sounds sensible and it sounds safe. But here is what nobody tells you. Eating good food alone does not protect your independence if your stomach can no longer break that food down. Here is the part that surprises people. After the age of 70, the stomach often makes far less acid than it did at 40. Gastroenterology clinics see the results of this every single week. Good meals go in, yet the body slowly runs short on the very nutrients inside them. So today I am going to walk you through 5 specific reasons your body may be absorbing far less than you think. And I will give you the one fix that most doctor visits never have the time to explain. The number one item on this list is something almost nobody talks about at the dinner table. Stay with me until the end, because that one habit can change how strong and steady you feel over the next 10 years. Let me show you why standard care usually misses this. A typical appointment runs about 12 minutes. In that time, a doctor manages your blood pressure, your medications, and whatever brought you in that day. Digestion, unless you complain loudly, rarely makes the list. Low stomach acid is quiet, it does not cause sharp pain, it shows up years later as fatigue, weak muscles, or a blood test that finally looks wrong. By then, the slow decline has been happening for a very long time. Now let me be clear about something. I am not here to sell you a supplement, and I am not here to scare you. This channel exists to give you the science that a 12-minute appointment never has time to cover. Everything I share tonight is food first, low cost, and something you can start in your own kitchen. And the stakes here are not small. When you stop absorbing protein, your muscles shrink, and standing up from a chair gets harder. When you stop absorbing certain vitamins, your balance and your memory can suffer. And that is how falls begin. Before we go further, tell me in the comments how old you are and what country you are watching from. I want to know exactly who I am helping tonight. Here is the one idea that everything today rests on. Your stomach acid is not there to burn you or to cause heartburn. Its real job is to unlock your food. Strong acid breaks protein into pieces small enough to absorb, and it frees the minerals and vitamins that are locked inside your food. Think of your stomach as the loading dock of a warehouse. Every truck of food that arrives is sealed shut. Stomach acid is the crew that pries open every crate so the goods can be carried inside and put to use. When the acid runs low, the trucks still arrive, but many crates never get opened. The food passes straight through, still sealed, and much of its value leaves with it. Please do not skip this section. It is the key to everything that follows. If this is already making sense to you, tap the like button so more seniors can find it. That one tap genuinely helps this reach the people who need it. Let us begin the countdown at number 5. Number 5 is the most overlooked step in digestion, and it is completely free. Chew your food far more than you think you need to. Digestion does not start in your stomach. It starts the moment food touches your teeth and your saliva. Chewing does 2 things at once. It grinds food into a soft paste, and it warns your stomach to get ready. Think of chewing as ringing the doorbell before the delivery arrives, so the loading dock is staffed and waiting. When you swallow large, half-chewed pieces, the doorbell never rings, and weak acid meets food it was never prepared for. Have you ever finished a whole plate and barely remember tasting it? That rushed habit is the first thing we are going to break tonight. Studies on older adults have consistently linked poor chewing to lower nutrient levels and more digestive complaints. This is one of the most established and least discussed findings in the whole field. So here is the protocol. Aim to chew each mouthful about 20 to 30 times until the food is smooth and almost liquid before you swallow. Put your fork down between bites so you are not loading the next one while you are still chewing. Try to make each meal last at least 20 minutes, not 5. If your teeth or dentures make this hard, that is a real problem worth fixing, not ignoring. The most common mistake is eating in front of the television, where you swallow without ever noticing. If chewing is painful, or food often feels stuck, stop and see your dentist or your doctor before anything else. Difficulty swallowing is not a normal part of aging, and it deserves attention. If dentures do not fit well, softer cooked foods and stews are a safe bridge while you get them adjusted. Never rush a meal just to keep up with everyone else at the table. Pair slow chewing with sitting upright at a real table, not slumped in a soft chair. Good posture lets gravity help the food move down, and it lowers the chance of reflux. Chewing and posture together give your weaker acid the best possible chance. But chewing only prepares the food. It cannot replace a mineral your body is struggling to pull out of that food in the first place. That is exactly the gap number 4 fixes. Number 4 is a small kitchen trick with a big effect on your blood and your energy. Add a source of vitamin C to the meals that carry your key minerals. Iron from plants, along with several other minerals, needs an acidic stomach to be absorbed well. When acid runs low after 70, much of that iron passes straight through you. Vitamin C acts like a helper that grabs the iron and keeps it in a form your gut can take in. Think of vitamin C as a forklift that loads the crate onto the truck even when the crew is short-handed. It quietly does some of the work your acid used to do on its own. The power of vitamin C to boost iron absorption is one of the most solidly established facts in nutrition science. Large studies have shown it can multiply the iron you take in from a plant-based meal. Here is how to use it. With any iron-rich meal, such as beans, lentils, spinach, or fortified cereal, add about 1/2 cup of a vitamin C food. That could be sliced strawberries, half an orange, some red pepper, or a squeeze of fresh lemon over the plate. Do this at the same meal, not hours apart, because the two must meet in your stomach together. At the same time, keep your tea and coffee to between meals, since both can block iron when taken with food. The common error is taking an iron supplement with a cup of tea, which quietly cancels much of it out. If you take an iron supplement or a blood thinner, talk to your doctor before making iron a focus, because more is not always better. If citrus triggers heartburn, red pepper, strawberries, or a cooked tomato are gentler sources of vitamin C. Stop and check with your doctor if you feel unusually tired, pale, or short of breath, because that deserves a real blood test. Never start a high-dose iron pill on your own. Pair this with the slow chewing from number 5 for even better results. And hold on to this lesson, because minerals become even more important when we reach number 1, the vitamin your low-acid stomach struggles with most. Still, minerals are only part of the story. The bigger daily struggle for most people over 70 is protein. And protein needs a very different kind of help. That is what number 3 is all about. Number 3 is about the nutrient your muscles depend on the most. Protein, spread across your whole day, and prepared so your stomach can actually break it down. Protein is the hardest food for a low-acid stomach to handle. Acid is what snips long protein chains into the small building blocks your body can absorb. Without enough of it, a big steak can sit heavy and pass through only half used. Picture protein as a long train of boxcars that must be uncoupled one by one. Weak acid uncouples them slowly. So many boxcars leave the station still linked together and never get unloaded. Put your hand on the front of your thigh for a moment. That muscle is one of the first to fade when protein absorption drops, and it is the very muscle that stands you up out of a chair. Digestion is not fixed. Absorption is not lost. Both can be rebuilt. Research on healthy aging consistently shows that older adults need more protein than younger ones, not less. And it shows that spreading it through the day beats saving it all for one evening meal. So here is the target. Aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein at each of your 3 meals, rather than one large serving at night. 25 to 30 grams looks like 3 or 4 eggs, a palm-sized piece of fish or chicken, or a cup of Greek yogurt with a little milk powder stirred in. Choose forms that are easier to break down, such as slow-cooked stews, ground meat, fish, eggs, yogurt, and well-cooked lentils. Cooking protein longer and softer does some of the work your acid struggles to do. The most common mistake is toast and jam for breakfast, a light lunch on the run, and all the protein crammed into one heavy dinner. If you have kidney disease, do not raise your protein without your doctor guiding the amount, because your needs are different. If large portions feel too heavy, split them into smaller amounts more often across the day. Stop and mention it to your doctor if meat consistently feels stuck or causes discomfort. Comfort matters as much as the number on the plate. Pair each protein meal with the slow chewing from number 5, and you double the help. And keep number 1 close in your mind, because the protein you finally absorb still cannot carry a certain vitamin into your nerves without help. That vitamin is the crown of this entire list. But even a perfect meal can be let down by the environment inside your stomach. If that inner setting is off, everything we have covered works at half strength. Number 2 is about resetting that environment. Number 2 is about gently supporting the acidic environment your stomach is meant to have. Use fermented and naturally sour foods around your meals. When acid is low, the whole chemistry of the upper gut drifts in the wrong direction. Helpful bacteria and the enzymes that follow acid all work best in a slightly sour setting. Fermented foods add both friendly bacteria and a mild natural acidity. Think of it like adding a little starter culture back into dough that has gone flat. You are nudging the environment back toward the setting where digestion actually works. A growing body of research links fermented foods to better digestion and a healthier gut in older adults. These are among the most studied and safest additions you can make to a daily diet. Here is the simple plan. Add 1 small serving of a fermented food to 1 or 2 meals a day. That could be a quarter cup of sauerkraut or kimchi, a half cup of plain kefir, or a small pot of live yogurt. Start with a small amount, because too much too fast can cause gas. Some people also find that a single teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in a large glass of water before a heavy meal helps them, though this is optional and not for everyone. The common mistake is buying pasteurized products off the shelf, which no longer contain the live cultures that do the work. If you have acid reflux, ulcers, or take medication that lowers stomach acid, skip the vinegar entirely and talk to your doctor first. If fermented foods cause bloating, cut the portion in half and build up slowly over several weeks. Stop any food that brings on burning, pain, or worse reflux, and do not push through it. Sour does not mean more is better. Pair a small fermented serving with your protein meals from number 3. The friendly bacteria and the mild acidity help you unlock that protein and its minerals together. This is teamwork inside your gut, not a single magic food. Now we arrive at the one that ties this entire list together. Everything so far has protected the food and the environment. Number 1 is the single nutrient that low stomach acid robs you of most directly, and the one most likely to quietly steal your balance and your memory. And here it is, the number 1 item, the one almost nobody talks about at the dinner table: vitamin B12, and specifically the form of it that your aging stomach can still absorb. Vitamin B12 is the nutrient most directly held hostage by low stomach acid. In food, B12 comes tightly bound to protein. It takes strong stomach acid to break that bond and set the vitamin free. After 70, when acid runs low, that bond often stays locked, and the B12 in your meat, eggs, and fish passes through unused. This is why a person can eat plenty of B12-rich food and still slowly become deficient. Picture the vitamin as a valuable letter sealed inside an envelope of protein. Acid is the letter opener. Without a sharp opener, the letter never comes out, no matter how many envelopes arrive. And B12 is not optional, because your nerves, your balance, and your memory depend on it every single day. This is not a fringe idea. Major health authorities, including national nutrition guidelines, specifically advise adults over the age of 50 to get much of their B12 from fortified foods or supplements rather than from food alone. The reason they give is exactly this problem: low stomach acid and food-bound B12. So here is what to do. The B12 in a supplement or in fortified food is already free of that protein envelope. Because it needs no acid to unlock it, your body absorbs it far more easily. Your daily need is only about 2.5 micrograms, which is tiny, but because so little of it is absorbed, everyday supplements often contain much more to make up the difference. You can get it from fortified cereals and fortified plant milks, or from an inexpensive B12 tablet. If you choose a tablet, a chewable or a dissolve under the tongue form is a sensible pick, since it bypasses the stomach even further. Take it consistently, every day, because B12 is not stored the way people assume. And here is the step most people skip. Ask your doctor for a simple B12 blood test, so you know your real starting point instead of guessing. The biggest mistake is assuming that a diet full of meat guarantees enough B12, when low acid can quietly break that guarantee. A few safety notes matter here. If you take metformin for blood sugar, or a long-term acid-reducing medication, you are at higher risk of low B12, so this test is especially important for you. Do not stop any of those medications on your own. Instead, bring this up at your next appointment and ask whether your B12 should be checked. If you already feel numbness or tingling in your hands or feet, unusual balance trouble, or new memory fog, see your doctor promptly, because these can be signs of deficiency. Caught early, low B12 is very fixable. Left for years, some nerve damage can become permanent, which is exactly why this sits at number 1. Pair your B12 with the protein habit from number 3. Healthy nerves need both the vitamin and the raw material to rebuild, and the two work as a team. And pair the blood test with a full check of your iron and your vitamin D while you are there. One blood draw can map out most of the absorption gaps we have discussed tonight. This is the item I promised could change your next 10 years, and here is why. Your ability to walk steadily, to remember names, and to feel like yourself is wired directly to this one vitamin. It is also the one most likely to slip away silently, with no pain to warn you. Fix your B12, and you protect the two things that keep you living independently: a clear mind and steady feet. Consider a typical case of the kind documented in the nutrition and rehabilitation literature. A 74-year-old woman had been eating what she believed was a healthy diet for years, yet she felt more tired each month, her legs felt weak on the stairs, and she had started to feel unsteady on her feet. Her family worried she was simply getting old, and quietly, so did she. When her care team looked closer, they found low B12 and low iron, despite a diet that clearly contained both. The plan was simple, and it was food first. She began spreading her protein across all 3 meals instead of one. She added a vitamin C food to every iron-rich plate, slowed down, and chewed each bite fully. She added a daily fortified source along with a B12 supplement, and her doctor rechecked her blood a few months later. The change was steady, not overnight. Within a few months, her B12 and iron had climbed back into a healthy range. Her energy returned, her legs felt stronger on the stairs, and that frightening unsteadiness eased. Aging had not stolen her strength, poor absorption had, and absorption can be fixed. So let us turn all of this into a plan you can start right now. Here is your checklist, and every step has a number, so nothing is left vague. Step 1. Tonight at dinner, chew each bite about 20 to 30 times, and let the whole meal last a full 20 minutes. Slowing down is free, and it starts working at the very first meal. Step 2. This week, build all 3 meals around 25 to 30 grams of protein each, leaning on softer, well-cooked forms. Step 3. Add 1 vitamin C food to every iron-rich meal, such as half an orange, some strawberries, or a few slices of red pepper. Step 4. Add 1 small serving of a fermented food, about a quarter cup to 1 meal a day, and build up slowly. Step 5. Within the next 2 weeks, book a simple blood test and ask your doctor to check your B12, your iron, and your vitamin D. That one blood draw turns guesswork into a clear picture. 5 steps, each with a number, and not one of them requires a prescription. Now think of someone in your life who has been slowing down, feeling tired, or growing unsteady, and blaming it only on age. This message might be the very thing that helps them. Please share this video with them, because how well you absorb your food is something no one should overlook. And tell me in the comments which of these 5 you are starting tonight. Your answers decide exactly what I cover next. If this gave you the kind of straight explanation a rushed appointment never does, subscribe to this channel because that is our whole mission here, the science your visits do not have the time for. This video is education, not a diagnosis. Your own doctor knows your history, so bring this list to your next appointment. I'm Kenji Vance. Don't forget to subscribe and live longer.